All right, everybody. My voice sounds nice. We're back with more Mario Before 40, in which I'm trying to play through as many Mario games as I can before I turn the age of 40, which will not be too far away at this point. I just murdered a fish. So we've gotten this far in the main Mario timeline. There was an exciting announcement from Nintendo that there's a new, looks like a 2D kind of in the style of this game, Mario game coming. Oh my god. Ah, shit. And there's a new Mario coming. So that's exciting, right? Oh fuck. I don't think I actually wanted that in this stage, did I? Ugh! Aggressive fish. There's a new 2D Mario, and there's a remake of Super Mario RPG, which is a game I quite enjoy. And although it's like the only RPG that I've actually finished in my little entire life. Oh god, this guy keeps fucking chasing me. Ah. Everything went wrong. Hello.
So nice.
The new 2D Mario looks good. It's like you can't really tell. I feel like when you watch like a gameplay video of these things, and I feel like I can't tell like what it is until I play it, you know, because I'm like, I think I understand this, you know, like whatever. I don't know. It's something like you take weird drugs or something. I know that's not what they would call it. It's like they took that scene from Yoshi's Island. You get coins when you shoot with fireballs, huh? That stage in Yoshi's Island with the hallucinogenic poofs, which I think everybody loved, right? At least on a conceptual level, because it is hilarious. It looks like maybe there's some kind of mechanic about that or something. But, it looks fun. We'll see if we get there. And yeah, as far as the remake of Super Mario RPG, if you haven't played it, and you know, some of its oldness is what prevented you from playing it, I would definitely check that one out, because I'm not a fan of RPGs, and I freaking love that game. It's very fun. It has a very good sense of humor to it. It's, you know, it's just a good, it's a good play. And especially if you're like not a big RPG person, I think it still works. But yeah, it feels like it's got something for everybody, that game. Damn.
So nice.
I thought about playing it for this, but the two things that kind of stopped me were, one is I tried to get not everything in that game, because getting everything in that game is almost impossible. There's supposedly some kind of super armor or something that you can get, but you have to do this. Mario has this jump attack, and you have to do it successfully 100 times. And I just learned about this. Okay, so it's kind of a timed thing. So you do one jump, and then if you oh shit, and then you have oh shit. I didn't realize I was on this side still. Fool. Because I'm little, right? Damn it! I picked the wrong side. I'm like Italy in early World War II here. I played it. So I played it. I got most of the stuff. There's this thing you have to get by doing this carefully timed move 100 times in a row, which is an asinine number of times. Because so when you first start doing it, your first 13 jumps, it gives you a fairly generous number of frames in which to push the button. And then after that, it gives you, I think, 3 frames in which to push the button, which is really not, it's like nothing. It's like, or we could just give you nothing. It's not that far removed from, okay, we'll just give you nothing. This game is definitely reminding me of the Mario Brothers on Wii, where it's like you definitely can build a lot of running momentum and slide around a lot and stuff. It feels like I'm missing something with these, right? Like, these just don't seem that difficult. Maybe you gotta get more coins or something? I'm wondering, because also it looks like I skipped a world on the world map. World 4 and World 7 kind of look to be optional. World 4 and World 7, the world map is on the like lower screen of the DS. This is a 2-screen situation. So I wonder if there's like some need to, you know, do something. Can I spend them? I feel like I want to spend them on something else other than a Toad house. I don't really need anything right now. Alright. We'll just put another pipe here just to mess with you. Ugh. My old friend has returned. Aha. That's what you want. But yeah, I highly recommend Mario RPG, and kind of especially if you're not an RPG person, which I am not. Which you can see if you, I just put up a video of, I made a return to XCOM. My brother was here for his birthday. He often comes to visit around his birthday. And so that, you know, we can shower him with gifts. And praise and love. It's a real bastard that way. He was here for his birthday, and normally we would do our thing where we go for a really long walk, because that's just our chosen activity these days. But because I crushed my toe, I could not. So he was like, "All right, alternative. Let's play XCOM. I'll help you through XCOM." And I was like, "All right." And guess. Ah, shit. Do I want to go below? Do I want to go in the red pipe? Maybe I want to go below. Okay. There you go. This game's definitely quite generous with the extra lives, at least early on. So yeah, I don't really care for RPGs or strategy games, RTS, RPG, anything that's a 3-letter thing I probably don't like. FPS, I'm medium fan of.
So nice.
I honestly like the classics, the Dooms, the Duke Nukem, the Bloods. But I never got into Halo. That was never a thing for me. I think I didn't like it because it was sort of, it feels like, this could be crazy, and you know, you can just ignore this because I don't really know much. What are these ghosts doing? There are ghosts like fading in and out on the lower screen. Shit. Oh! That was fun. Oh, look at this little pumpkin guy! Oh, that's great. I love that. That was maybe the cutest thing I didn't kill him because I was like, I don't want him to die. I don't need for him to die the way I need for... Whoa! Like that bastard could die. I used these ghosts as an example of game mechanics the other day. I was writing a column for litreactor.com. I write columns there, usually like almost every week, 3 weeks out of the month. This is tough because I don't want to kill these guys. Fuck. Uh-oh. Oh, look what happens. Oh, sad. Horrible. I see. That's fun. I was using these ghosts as an example of game mechanics because I was like, okay, so it's kind of about how the player in the game interact or whatever. And I was like, so, you know, the ghosts in Mario, the way they function is like, when you look at them, they can't move, and then when you look away, they can move. And so then, you know, when you first encounter them, it's usually like, alright, I'm gonna let this go and then do it again. So when you first encounter them, you're kind of like, alright, so I just gotta keep looking at them and stuff. But then you get to where you're like, oh, I have to sort of look away from these ghosts to convince them to move because they're basically sitting where I need to be, right? I think that's a pretty cool mechanic. Jeez. I guess if I had turtle shell, I could go through there, maybe. I can see this, like, it's headed to a place of, okay, you need certain items in order to get some of the coins and stuff. That would make sense.
So nice.
I got none of the big coins in that level. It does feel like, you know, this might be a game. I don't know if I need to hundo percento it, but it also feels like a game you can blow through. I mean, I'm only on World 3, so I probably shouldn't say that just yet, but it feels like a game you could kind of blow through, and then if you are looking for a more challenging situation, you know, you can take another shot at it. I feel like these are a fave among Mario Maker people, these spiked rods. And a least favorite among players, probably. Trying to practice my wall jumps where I can. Oh, also, I guess, so below there's usually a map. But on the last ghosty stage, there was no map, and now I get it, because it's like there's no... The ghosts were down below, because there's no map. Oh. I thought I could jump on him. Do you think he'll carry me upwards? Shit! I guess I should practice on this guy. No? It's not how that works at all, huh? Whoa! He just slid all the way down. Oh, you can make the rope swing. I figured out how to get it, but not without... I figured it out the hard way. Let's say it like that. Ah, damn it. Now I gotta do... Okay. Oh, okay. Is it a checkpoint? Thank goodness. Trying my patience here, apparently. Ah. Oh shit. Whoa. That was great. That was very fun. I enjoyed that. Last time I was talking... Oh, shit. I was talking about thrifting. I was talking about... Shit! I was talking about... Shit! Even more shit! Shit here! I was talking about thrifting. And then I was gonna talk about NASA, a NASA thing I saw. Which is that apparently... Oh, I don't get to keep that coin. Apparently NASA is saying there's gonna be a big solar flare or something that could like knock out the internet for months, even years. Which... Okay, first things first. Okay, so I worked for many years as a librarian. And one year I was on an interview team. Well, I was on several interview teams, but... Why am I trying to be like... I don't want people to think I'm like worthless at my job. I've been on several interview teams. Nobody cares, Peter. I was on an interview team, and this lady came in for an interview. And she was... We had a really weird round of interviews this time, because I remember this first lady was talking about, in our interview, because my boss was like, oh yeah, you know, this is Peter, he's a librarian, he's pretty tech savvy, you know, stuff like that. I don't think so. So, you know, just kind of chit-chatting. Okay, I'm gonna try and use my thing to try and... Okay. So on the lower screen it says touch, and there's an item in there, so you can get it. You just witnessed that happening. So, okay, this lady comes in for a job interview, and she's talking about how, my boss is like, oh yeah, he's pretty tech savvy as far as helping people with, you know, their Kindles and their iPads and all that shit, which was a pretty big part of my job. And this lady got real into talking about solar flares and how they disrupt, you know, computers and internet and stuff. And so, and you know, she was asking me like, oh, what do you think about that? Like, do you have plans for that or whatever? And you know, my first thing was sort of like, I had never heard of this before, so I thought she was totally full of shit. But also, once I was like, oh, I guess this is a thing, but it doesn't seem like a thing that's like, I don't know, she kind of made it sound like it's happening all the time. And I was like, maybe not, you know, maybe not so much. Ah! Maybe not so much, you know. Maybe it's not happening. Do you think this snow, like, hurts me if it falls on me? That's funny. I like that. That's funny. Good job, Nintendo. Just to pause my thrilling tale for a second. Overall, I'm giving Nintendo a good job on this one. Now here's my question. When I come back and play this level again, if I was trying to get all the coins, for example, do I retain the coins that I've gotten? Or do I, oh god. Or do I start completely anew? Oh, that was my chance, huh? Oh. Ugh! Boing, oing, oing. So anyway, this lady was really obsessed with this whole solar flares causing Wi-Fi outages. And I was just annoyed, I guess, because I was like, it felt to me like in the interview what she was trying to do is be like, I know more about technology than you do. Which I'm like, you know, I'm like a young guy at this point, and also, I don't have much of an ego when it comes to my job. I'm not like I'm the greatest there ever was or something. Like, that's not really important to me. Because, you know, my type of job, my sector of employment just really isn't that way. People don't really talk about that so much. It's kind of like being the best, you know, worker at the DMV or something. So I was like, kind of weird that you're like you're trying to one-up an interviewer. Seems like a bad practice. My boss kind of felt the same way. But also I was like, listen, I am not the IT department here. Like, I don't know. You know, the shielding that's done to the servers, I was like, well, clearly, I don't think you read the job description very well, because that's not something we do. Maybe at other libraries, maybe like if you work for a small town library, I'm sure many librarians are also like tech support and stuff, and maybe run the website and do all that stuff, but that's not really how we rolled. And that's not how most public libraries roll in my experience. But damn it! I was like, this whole tree thing is fun and cute, and now I'm like, fuck these trees. These godforsaken trees. But anyway, that was the first I'd heard of it, right? And then, so lo and behold, I saw this article just a few days ago that was like, NASA warns of giant solar flare that may knock out the internet. And, it was interesting to me on many levels. But one of the levels, it was interesting on which it was interesting to me. One of the things I thought was interesting was my first thought was like, maybe that wouldn't be so bad. I mean, obviously, at some point I'd be like, this sucks. Just kidding, I was wrong. No internet life is significantly more boring. I think I'm not gonna go back and do this again. I got all the coins in that level, the big coins.
So nice.
So that's cool. Okay, I want to go back to a level just to see. Well, is that the first stage on here? Damn it. Okay. Maybe a non-internet world wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Is kind of all I'm thinking. Now, I'm very guilty of, like many people, sort of conflating the internet and the social media slash, you know, social media-fication of the internet. Because I think a lot of times when people talk about the bad of the internet, that's what they're talking about, right? Lots of us are talking about, like, well, I don't know, cyberbullying and shit like that, which is like, it's mostly a social media thing, or like the way news has become BuzzFeeditized instead of, you know, local news is dead and all that stuff. And I do feel strongly that those are mostly due to the social media stuff. It's funny because I think for a long time, many of us believed that, you know, social media was bad, basically because it was vapid. And I feel like that kind of turned it into a... It gave it this reputation of being stupid but harmless. And maybe that wasn't... maybe that was a problem. Because we were like, well, it's dumb, but I mean, whatever. Like if, you know, the big thing was like Instagram, and it was like, well, if you want to take your picture of your lunch and just fucking throw it online for anyone who wants to see it, whatever, bro. And then we didn't really know that later it was like, oh, this is gonna kind of destroy, you know, journalism. Huh. Didn't see that one coming, which I can't blame us for. Because how many things were there like that, you know, that didn't destroy everything, right? There have been plenty of technological changes that didn't ruin everything.
So nice.
But anyway, I did wonder, because I was like, if the internet went out, for me personally, would it be a net positive or would it be bad? What does this do if I go on here with this guy? Oh god. I'm ill-equipped. Should I do this? I had a flower down below. Alright. That was basically a one-to-one exchange. It does look like I retain that one coin as well. So that's something. Okay. There was a button to... Yes. Yes, I'm sure. Excellent. I think it would probably be a net negative as far as, you know... Oh. Have I played this game before, or have I just already played a level like this before? Because this is very familiar feeling to me. It's possible I've played Super Mario DS before. I don't really remember. But this is, like, incredibly familiar feeling. Ah, shit. So you kind of want those guys to be alive, huh? So they can get spike-balled. Well, I ruined that for myself again. Come on! Shit. Get him. Oh, no! I think this is going to be a challenging stage. I was feeling really confident, and now I'm like, oh, God. This one's not easy. That round of interviews, too, I can't remember if it was the same lady. I think it was. So the solar flare thing, you know, I was annoyed by, because I was like, why are you trying to, like, you know, big time me in this fucking interview? Because the thing is, like, when someone comes in for an interview, I would call myself generally on their side. As far as, like, you know, I want them to succeed. I want them to do a good interview because, frankly, if we're interviewing for a position parallel to mine, let's say, like we were in that case, that probably means I've been doing portions of that job while we're looking. And so I'm like, listen, I would love to get in somebody who can do this job so I don't have to do it anymore. You know what I mean? But also, I'm just like, yeah, I want to, like, find someone to work with, and, you know, that seems good. So it's a little weird. I don't make a lot of career recommendations. That's kind of Poonmaster Flex's realm. But I do feel safe recommending, like, hey, maybe don't, like, try to one-up your interviewer in a job interview. This lady also talked about, so we'd recently had a tornado blow through. It was like a pretty bad one, which we don't get a lot of here. So, you know, it was kind of unusual. And I can't remember how it came up in the interview, but basically we were like, you know, how do you handle a stressful situation like that? You know, what would be kind of your steps to, wait, it's kind of a 50-50 choice. I made the right choice here. What are the steps you use to handle something like that happening in the library? Because, you know, part of the job is kind of dealing with situations like that from time to time. And she was like, oh, we had something like this at my current job. She's like, so, you know, I went to the shelter, which was, I think, a restroom or something. And she's like, and I was in there, and a bunch of the teens who were in the library came. Ah, damn it. I don't think there is a flag on this level. By the way.
Here I go.
Damn it. Alright, this is the first level that I'm calling a little... giving me a little bit of a hard time here, Mario. But I don't hate it. She's like, oh yeah, we had a tornado, so we had to shelter and whatever, and it was like, okay. And then she's like, there were a lot of teenagers in the library at the time, and I just couldn't, you know, hang with that. They were all in the same room that I was, so I made all the teenagers, I, like, escorted them to a different part of the library, so I didn't have to, like, hang with them during the tornado. By the way, you know, I think this was hiring a teen librarian, a teen services librarian, if I remember correctly. So, but it was like, hey, you did that, you know, you're just like, well, I'm gonna make these teens go to somewhere else because they're annoying the shit out of me right now. And I was like, I mean, I get it. As a teen services librarian, I understood the idea of being annoyed by teenagers, right? I was like, they can be loud, they can be obnoxious. You know, we're not saying anything wild. Oh, what? All right, I'm gonna use my flower on the lower corner here, the lower screen. They could be obnoxious, but I was like, I don't know, like on the level of during a tornado, I made them go somewhere else? Like, that seems a little outrageous. Maybe a little dangerous. You know what I mean? It's like, well, the whole reason you go in the shelter is like, because that's a safe place to be during the tornado, and if, I don't know, flying glass and shit like that. So, you know, I was like, I mean, are you really like... You're telling us in your job interview, by the way, that you're like, the way I would handle this is to, The way I would handle this is to basically kick the teens out of the room. You know what I mean? Like, A, that's how you'd handle it. B, you're gonna tell us that in the interview, because I always figure too, I'm like, well, interview for most people is like, this is me on my best behavior, right? Like, this is as good as it gets. Come on. So, you know, I usually go on that assumption in an interview, which is like, probably not a wild assumption, right? That like, oh, they're trying to be their best selves. I don't mean like they're lying to me or something. I just mean like, well, yeah, this is like, you know, this is the OK Cupid of me. You know what I mean? Like, this is the version that's here to impress, here to make people happy. Not everything in my life is about making other people happy. This moment is about making other people happy. Jeez. And so if that's what you're doing in the interview, if that's what you're doing in the stage where you're like, I'm trying to be my best self, and you're like, my best self is the one that got really annoyed at teenagers and kicked them out of the shelter during a tornado. Not a good sign, right? Not exactly me thinking, like, gotta get this lady on board. Poink. Okay, I see what's happening here. So this is a punching ghost, and he's just smashing everything. Damn it. Is he gonna smash these bricks? I think it's the, you know, like, why is this so funny? But I think it's the gleeful look on his face. You know, the like, I am having a great time smashing all this shit. Like, there's nothing pleases me more than just running, pinwheeling my fists, and destroying everything in sight. Okay, I see. So you probably gotta, like, lure this guy. So it'd probably be easier if I was not tiny. To be honest. Because it's like a weird floating, jumping situation. Although that was probably easier as a tiny. Choo-whoop! This is great. I am thoroughly enjoying this, just so everyone knows. Oh god. I don't know if that would be possible as large, so there you go. As a largeman. Punching shit up there. They're not even waiting for me. They're just like, punching! That's what I do, is punching. That's gonna be the third one, isn't it? Uh-oh. Oh, this makes you change direction when it does that. Huh. What? This is very Tower of Terror at Disney. That was good. This is good stuff. Ghost houses, great idea from Super Mario World, and I feel like they have fun making these.
So nice.
So, okay. So the story I read, NASA is saying, like, big solar flare coming, could knock out the internet forever or whatever. My first thought was about this lady, because I was like, that fucking insane lady was correct about this. Now, you know, obviously... Oh. No! I didn't think that would happen. I thought, you know, it let me keep the better thing. Wow, wow. Alright, I want to give this as much headway as I can. Oh. I like how when you get the one up on those, it like just gives it to you basically. It puts it right above you. I don't know that you can not get it. Tiny Mario could go in there. I guess this is an auto-scroll level, so maybe... I don't know how that works. I like that this stage gives me the opportunity to, this game gives you the opportunity to collect quite a few 1-ups. I feel like that's helpful. Because, you know, then as I go through the game, and things get more challenging. That's the third red coin. Saw the two. I'm not actually sure how to get those, but so yeah, my first thought was about this crazy lady, and I was like, well, she's right about something. I'm still not convinced she was right about throw the teens in another room, walk them through Tornado Alley to put them in another room, but when it came to the existence of solar flares and their ability to harm the internet somehow, she was right about that, I guess, which is something. But yeah, I did wonder, I was like, you know, a big reset with no internet. I'm like, might be good. I feel like the biggest arguments against it would probably come along the lines of like, you know, things like, well, okay, so then politicians could do things and we wouldn't know what they were doing or whatever. Which is probably true, but it doesn't seem like us knowing what they're doing has made them honest or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like it's like, well, politicians know now that there's the internet, they can't fuck around. It kind of seems to me that the internet has made it easier for them to do bullshit because it's like, well, you can connect with people all over the world. So it's like, yeah, I mean, somebody who has niche, stupid ideas can probably find an audience for those ideas in the vastness of the... Oh my god. He's giant! In the vastness of the internet, they can probably find people to agree with them. Or, you know, like, in the past couple of years, I've certainly watched a lot of people become amateur researchers of scientific topics. Uh-oh. Don't know if this is good or bad. And I think the internet has facilitated that because, you know, the way amateur people research a scientific topic is they research what they want. So you type into Google, study shows masks don't work. And then, you know, take those results and you're like, okay, here it is. The study says they don't work. Hey, I remember this asshole. I killed you before. Do you remember? Yeah, and you flew around before. Oh, come on. Ugh. Anyway, and that's not a great way to research a topic. It's a great way to confirm something you already believe. Is that how that was supposed to work? Or do you think this is how I get into World 7? Oh. Okay, so I've entered World 7, which seems to be the alternate path, instead of World 6, on the map that's down below. So by being tiny and beating that guy, I've entered World 7. That's how that works, huh? Huh. 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 So, anyway. Well, okay, that's interesting. I was like, what a weird glitch to have where I just kind of ran below the thing. That seems uncharacteristic of this game to have not thought of that. What are these? What are these clouds? What is this? Is this a glitch? I feel like I'm seeing a glitch. Well, that's what I just thought. This has to be a glitch of some kind. Okay. Well, I apologize to any viewers here. This is kind of weird. Yeah, it's an annoyance of mine because, like, I don't like to always be like, as a this, I can say this, you know, or as a that, I can say that. Because sometimes I feel like, well, you know, when someone's talking about something, sometimes the content of what they have to say is as important as who's saying it. And I understand it's like a way of establishing that you're, like, worth listening to on a topic. Oh, shit. This is gonna be a problem. One of my least favorite enemies from Mario 3, I believe. I am not big enough to do this. Being little isn't always awesome. There are some disadvantages. I think overall it's a benefit, but there are bad things about it. So I don't like to say too often, like, as of this, I think this, or as of that, I think that, because I'm like, well, you could just think things without being as of this. But as a librarian, which most of my schooling was research. It was about learning how to do research and how to like find and evaluate information. So, you know, the last few years have been more than a little frustrating. All right. Sorry, guys. Whoop. Goo. This is great. So, you know, as somebody who has spent their career and education, you know, learning this stuff, the last few years have been frustrating. And I think that the thing is with the internet is it's not a great thing in some ways, where it's like, well, it's good that everybody has information, but also... I just did something I thoroughly don't understand. It's also, I think, kind of tough because people don't really understand how to use it. Shit. Oh, that was close. Oh boy. No! Ugh! Like, I think it's great that people have things available to them, but I wish they would use it a little bit more. Okay, maybe this is the way to say it. Internet use, I wish people would use it more responsibly. Or, you know, if people want to use it irresponsibly, I'm actually okay with that. Just as a heads up, I'm not here to be internet police. But if you're gonna use it irresponsibly, I often use it irresponsibly. But you know, I don't claim to be like a source of information when I'm doing something irresponsible. When I'm doing something irresponsible, I'm like, yeah, I mean, this is just bullshitty nonsense, right? And I think that's the difference in what I'd like to see. You know, that's my be the change you want to see in the world or whatever. Is like, yeah, I wish people would, like, use the internet irresponsibly, responsibly. If that makes any kind of sense. Okay, this is where I died last time. Well, there's an exit. So yeah, I just wish people would be different about it. So in some ways, I'm like, it is good that everyone has access to information, but I also sort of feel like the way that we've used it up till now hasn't exactly inspired a ton of confidence in me as far as, oh yeah, like if we didn't have access to this, it's gonna cause us so many problems. Now, I think it's gonna cause us problems. Oh, what? Oh, shit. I see. Am I trying to go vertical here? Now, it would change, like, how we work, right? Like, because we do so much email and stuff now. But, in a weird way, I have a lot of hopes that, you know, it would change things for the better. Oh, shit. Because I do think email is something that I have, like, this weird... I have a hot take about email. In the work setting. I feel like email... in theory, right, should have sped things up to such a degree that, like, work should basically be easy. Oh my god, you can go around the corner, huh? And Pac-Man, this son of a gun. I feel that, like, work should be easy as hell. Because it's like, oh, okay, well, we can get so much done. You know, like, even, I don't know, 25 years ago, it was like, my job, let's take my job. Well, my job wouldn't exist, because electronic marketing specialist, people would be like, what? But, the way, like, let's say I was just a librarian again. And it was like, well, okay, so there's the plus side is, like, so much more is available to you so much more easily with the internet. But... we also waste so much fucking time. Like, there's so many emails going back and forth that really seem to do almost nothing. And I gotta believe this is not exclusive to my workplace. Like, oh, I guess I wanted this block probably, huh? Shoot. I have to imagine that other people's workplaces, that many of you feel like, how is it possible that we have email, and yet, like, how did anything get done in 1985? How is it possible to get anything done? So my hot take on email is not that. My hot take is, why are we still, like, working a 40-hour work week if we have email? And, like, shouldn't it be, I mean, shouldn't we be so fucking efficient at this point that we don't even need anywhere near that much time? Or we're doing so much more? I don't think either of those things is necessarily true. I don't feel like we're getting a whole lot more done. And this is in my specific, you know, corner of the world. I'm sure there are some where they're like, oh, this is great. But, you know, I think about, like, I don't know, your advisor at a college. And I'm like, well, it's easier to set up appointments. It's easier to do this, easier to do that. But also, like, they got it done before. I was like, yeah, you might have to call on the telephone. You might have to make an appointment. And you might have to keep your appointment. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Or, like, if texting still worked, I guess that would be fine. But I don't know if it would. I don't know. Ah, my friend Wiggler. So... what? Oh, shit. Does this go on forever? It seems like it. No! Damn it. I had that one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So yeah, my hot take on email is not that hot of a take, but it's kind of like, I mean, would we be that lost without it, or would we just be like, you know, we seem to get everything done? Because here's the other thing, right, about email. If everyone had email except for you, that's going to be a problem. Oh, shit. Okay, it does end eventually. If everyone had email except for you, yeah, of course that's going to be a problem. If Pepsi has email and Coke does not, that's not going to work for Pepsi. But if nobody has email, you know, nobody's sending me an email and expecting me to reply. Or like the pace of work could be a little slower. Because it's like, all right, well, we gotta fucking send these messages a different way. You know, we gotta do things really differently. Now, my current job my job title is e-marketing specialist. So I guess I should be a little concerned because it's like, well, if there's no fucking internet, there certainly is no e-marketing specialist to be done. But, I don't know. I don't have a problem with that. I think we'll figure it out. I guess I have a feeling that it's not, you know, when they say like it's gonna knock out a lot of internet for a lot of people or something, that's probably true. But call it a sneaking suspicion. Like, I think Amazon is still gonna function. You know what I mean? I feel like they've probably got plans, safeguards. Because, like, that's just, that doesn't really work for them, right? If they were like, well, I just like these wigglers because they're like, I'm cool, but if you fuck with me, boy, am I going to be pissed. But they kind of like give you a chance, you know? They're like, I'm just going to go about my happy life until you stomp on me. And then I'm like, all right, well, now you're going to get fucked up. But yeah, I guess I should be worried about it, but I'm just not. I mean, it's a weird thing. It's a weird function, too, of, you know I was talking about research and the events of 2020 and so on. But, I kind of feel like, I don't know. Okay, so like one of the things I wondered after 2020 is I was like, well, in my lifetime we've had several of this sort of thing, which is like people saying, okay, bird flu, okay, swine flu, okay, you know, epidemics, you know, warnings of the next coming plague. And many of them have turned out to not be a problem, or at least not be a problem for large sectors of the world. You know, Ebola doesn't seem to have been a problem for most of the world. And so, you know, it leaves you wondering, right? Like, the next one that comes along, the next sort of thing that they warn about coming along, what is gonna happen? Because I was like, it's not impossible. There's really no, you know, because someone at work was talking about this the other day and was like, well, they say it happens about every 100 years, so hopefully we're good. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I think it happens every 100 years, but I think there's something to be said for the fact that, like, well, things have changed so much. I think it's probably likely they'll happen more often. Because, for example, if there was like a big flu in China or something, in the 1800s or whatever, it was like, well, look, there's not, some motherfucker is not in China today and in the States tomorrow. I mean, in a weird way, the grueling nature of travel like that back in the day probably protected us from a lot of this stuff, right? Because it was like, well, you know, if somebody had a really horrible illness, they probably wouldn't survive the trip, right? I mean, maybe I'm incorrect in thinking that, but that seems to be what it would be like. I don't know, it seems like you had like a chance of not making it, you know, just on a pretty normal level. So it's like, yeah, I guess if you were traveling internationally, that seems like extra, you know, whatever. That seems not easy on the system. So I do wonder, like, yeah, maybe in the future we'll have more of this stuff. But what I really wonder about is, like, what's the reaction to it gonna be? Because, you know, I have a feeling it's gonna be more like, oh, you know, that's what you said about the last one, and I'm still here, I'm fine, you know? So I don't know. I'm curious what's gonna happen with all of this. Because I'm like, there's gonna be something else big. So, like, you know, and I wonder how that affects, for example, NASA and the internet. Because it's like, NASA warns of the internet, and are people now like, okay, scientists, I ain't listen to a scientist. Those motherfuckers is lying and get me pissed. You know what I mean? As my friends in the Insane Clown Posse would say. Like, are people just sort of... I've had my times where I'm, like, done with science. I remember a few years ago I was talking about on a podcast how it was like... new study shows that glitter is, like, basically the worst thing in the world for the environment or something. Or is bad for the environment. And I was like, you know, science... I don't mean to, like, shit on you here and be like, ugh, you guys are idiots. But I'm like, maybe you guys should think about doing some studies about, you know, what is fun. You know, I don't know. I don't mean that, really. I just mean, like, if you have this reputation as being, like, unfun fuddy-duddies, and you're not helping it by being like, hey, glitter should be illegal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Just seems like... It just seems like the ultimate version of, like, tell me you're unfun, you know? Oh yeah, glitter is a big problem. Okay. I mean, is it a big problem? Is this on our must-do list? You know what I mean? Is it, or like, is the fact that, like, so many of us, it's normal for us to commute 35 miles to work in a car? You know, what's the bigger issue here? Or, like, if we could solve one problem, and it's like, well, Pete, you can choose between glitter and public transportation. And I know that's kind of a zero-sum game thing, which I don't love, but it's like, all right, you know, I think we all know, you know, driving like that to work is not great for the environment. And other options would probably be good. But, like, I guess no one really wants to hear that, right? Because we're like, yeah, we know. Believe me, offer me a fucking train. I'll be on that sumbitch. But that's the thing, right? Because I can't build a train myself. I don't have the resources, the know-how. I have nothing that would be required to make that happen. Is this gonna crush me? All right. Kind of bumbled my way through that. I get over to that guy. Ah! I regret doing that. Oh no. Now there's a Hammer Brother. Oh no. Oh! And then he skitters off into the night. Well, I guess it's daytime. But you know what I mean. Hey. Not the best. I feel like this makes you not jump as high. But I also feel like that's just a paranoia or something. Could that be possible? Could it be like the shell makes it so you can't jump as high. Well, it's irrelevant now. I think I forgot what I was doing. I think I forgot that I was like, this is a real level, Pete. You're gonna have to pay attention on this one. I think I did all that for that coin because I was like, you know, you've got 2 of 3. You're like almost there. I didn't have 2 of 3. I think I would have skipped it. Okay. I think I know the answer here. Damn it. Browser? Whoa! He's upped his game. I feel like I want to land on that shell and hit him with it. Click, click, clack. I'd like to win this fight. I don't really want to play this stage again. Damn it. Damn it! Be a lot easier if I had more room when he threw that, but, you know. I trick him to the edge. I have a fire flower in my thing, but I don't know that I can access it quickly and easily without, like, getting killed while I'm trying to do it. Do you know what I mean? Fuck! Fuck! Okay. Damn it, I thought he was gonna do it from there. That was a little trickier than he's been so far. I guess we're in, you know, World 7, so that makes sense. Pum pum pum. All right. Well, that's good for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. We're getting through this game awfully quickly. I haven't decided yet if this is going to be a, you know, higher percentile world game, but I think maybe it should be. I feel like this deserves more attention. On the flip side, I feel that, while this deserves more attention, it's also like, I've got at least a couple more of this kind of game coming, so maybe there's something to be said for just going further forward. So, we'll continue this debate at another time.